Hello, everyone, and thanks for the previous pitch. I think that was very interesting. That I really like that we, as a Latvia, stand very often as a first place in different digital innovations. So kudos to the Baltics and the team behind. A quick kind of update on this deck. As currently in this RigaCom, there is no stage specifically dedicated to the Metaverse. So we joined stage on the Web3, although I believe this audience understands what are similarities and what are the differences between the Web3 and the Metaverse. Yet they are very close and overlap, so I believe this content also will be interesting for you guys. And as this stage is the next one, we talk about what's next, not just what's today, but also what's next. So if we talk about the Metaverse, then I'm representing Accenture and we're working globally, and our point of view is that the Metaverse actually is a continuum. It doesn't appear just today. It's actually a combination and a continuum of different kind of activities and emerging technologies since like past 10 years. So it's a continuum of technologies in AI, in IoT, in connected devices, in a 5G. Equally, it's a continuum, and it's not just in one industry like, let's say, airspace. Yeah, it's all over. We see now it's very fast growing in the fashion industry, in the retail. Similarly, that's also in the products industry or some automotive or the healthcare, right? So it's a continuum. It starts somewhere in one industry, which is picking quicker, but it's involving and continuous in other industries as well. And it's also a continuum of experience, right? It started more as a 3D experience and a more visual experience. But we see this is expanding, and with this internet of the ownership and what's mentioned about the possibilities of tokenizing what was previously not possible, this is changing a lot of the landscape and the experience as such, what we can look like. So why it's now? If we look back, then every decade there is a change in what we use or what is the progress of the internet as such, right? So if we look back, in the 90s it was just a Web 1, so we just were browsing and then getting some data. Then in after decade, with the progress not just on the software but also of the hardware, so with the rise of the smartphones, tablets, and that type of devices, the internet started to live in our pocket. So it was not only just in a desktop at office or late at home. So the usage of the internet also changed, right? It shifted more to the, as we call it, the internet of people, for people. It was more about the social platforms. And again, decade passed, and we, as I say, it's also upgrade of the software side, but also as well upgrade on the hardware side, right? So the switching from the 3G to 4G. And we can name it that was the beginning of the connected devices, Internet of devices, Internet of Things, yet not so, let's say, smart yet, but at least they were starting to be connected, and this was Internet more between the devices, right? So again, decade passed, and now we are in this era of Web3, which is Internet of Place, space, and as mentioned previously, Internet of Ownership, right? So I will not dig deep so much in the Internet of Ownership. I believe there will be a lot of the speakers talking about the tokenization and the benefits of what we can do through that. I would like to more speak about the enterprise solutions for the Metaverse. So I believe because this is more interesting for the business rather just building a 3D spaces, which is a kind of like nice, but nobody understands how to commercialize that really. Yeah. So we see that the Metaverse through our clients and their strategies, and also where we support them, is actually all over. So how the customers interact with the way it's changing, right? How the work is performed. For example, as we are a global company and we are having a lot of new joiners all over the world, and in the COVID times, it was really hard to kind of properly onboard people, right? So we have built our own kind of room or experience for the new joiners. So whenever in which country or which city you are joining the company, you had an experience for a couple of days to join kind of the similar room, similar place, and interact actually, whether it's from the London, Tokyo, Germany, or Latvia, and already makes this network and gather some information in a more proper way as a younger audience kind of used to, right? We talk also about the new services, how they are done, right? Again, a lot of the banks and fintechs are currently looking how to enter this metaverse because a lot of transactions are happening there. So who will own that and how to make it even more scalable? Of course, the distribution of ways is also changing. So one way is that you would like to buy the car, let's say, at the saloon, but the other thing is that you can experience that and really kind of go into the, not just from the exterior, but also from the interior side and look on this car, right? And as well, also as a business is operated, it's also changing a lot. So in overall, you can access this information online, free of charge. There is, every year we release this innovation kind of research, which is called Accenture Technology Vision. It looks on different trends, which is fused together from the discussions with the top 500 Fortune companies, C-level executives, basically where they are betting on their strategy, like CMOs, CFOs, and CTOs, where they're investing and planning their budgets and why. And on the other hand, it's mixed also together with the research labs, similarly also with the very big universities like MIT. On the other hand, where they are doing a kind of foresight on what's coming next. So feel free to look into these kind of trends. So if this year there were 4 main trends, so WebMe, programmable world, which I will deep dive actually now a bit more, and I will show some interesting examples where it leads, and as this stage mentions, what's next actually. The Unreal side, in few words, it's actually about the synthetic data. So with the speed of AI and with the speed of different algorithms and optimization, there is much more need for the new data sets, new areas where maybe even there is no libraries available. So similarly, like previous speaker showed, that there could be generated 10,000, was it? Yeah, artworks. So similarly is basically the way how you generate synthetic data. Yeah, so my favorite example is currently we all experiencing not the best user experience when we going and want to put back all these plastic bottles in the system, right? Not always the system recognizes these plastic bottles because it's quite linear algorithm. But if that would be quite smart algorithm, and that would be fed with the 10,000 synthetic data, showed how the smashed bottles look, right? The outcome would be much more better. And in line, actually, with this technology progress, very important role plays also the computing side or the hardware side, right? I believe somebody maybe will later also will touch this in the context also of the blockchain. So what are the bottlenecks and also some of the needs, what still we are looking on the hardware side. But again, also on this way, how we would like to experience the metaverse, right? We don't want to see that as a Roblox or Minecraft, right, in the pixels. We would like to experience that in a very high rendered way. So this definitely requires a high computing power. And again, we can talk not just on the hardware side, also on the 5G promise, right? But this is more, as I said, you can deep dive that in the trends. From my side, today I would like to more touch on this programmable world. Why it's so? Because, by the way, how much of you know the term digital twin? Can you raise the hands? Okay, very few ones. Okay, for you, basically digital twin could be also this token, right? So there is a physical money and there is a digital money, right? But I will talk more about the digital twins from industrial side. And as I said, from the enterprise perspective, what can the metaverse give you the opportunities already today? Right, so what you will see here now on the screen is a digital mine for a mining company as a digital twin, which is set up. And this is what I want to say is that metaverse and digital twins is not just for the fancy avatars, right? It actually could be on, about the business and even about the process, right? So here you see how in a metaverse there is similar kind of digital twin of mining, and you can see all the processes what are happening, which vehicle needs a maintenance, which is efficiency level. Even you can also deep dive and decouple a digital worker, right? So you can even see what's his or her daily activities needed, what is the progress, right? And again, of course, this digital twin works vice versa. It's not just the gathering data. You can also provide, on the other hand, and do some updates or give some new notifications, right? Because this is very important, I believe, for today, where we, as a digital people, we expect that update is happening every day, right? Not like I had a very bad experience when day before I wanted to just drop out some bigger garbage, and I called this company who serves the garbage gathering, and I said, hey guys, I need tomorrow additional kind of luggage, so you take it. And they said, sorry, you are calling too late, the system is already sent, the drivers will tomorrow go out, and most probably they will not have an update. So it was like, why, right? So it's just you put in a system, they look on a screen, but it actually happens that their system, it's not updating like regularly. It's only if you restart it, then the new day is kind of filling in with the new information, which is, I think it's not kind of very user-centric, right? Yeah, and of course, very big benefit of these digital twins in this metaverse environment is, as you see, this was very visualized, right? Why? To be honest, on the operational level, you don't need actually this visualize. You can. This also could be like a metrics in some actual Excel dashboard, etc. Right? But it helps to enable much wider audience to be ready reading the data and taking the decisions at the same level like very analytic people, right? So again, this service of the metaverse enables much more people to get in the same context, maybe not just only analytics, but also maybe more people who are more visionary and more creative ones. So, but if we look on the next level, so there is an example how actually some robots are upgraded and then taught, and the system or the promise is that at some point, actually there will not be needed people in this mining facility, right? There will be smart cars, yet they also need to be taught, right? So yes, some of the algorithms can be plug and play, but you still need to upgrade these algorithms. You need to teach them first time, and then or on the new services, right? And then supportive some difficult functions can be done remotely with a human kind of support, right? So this is a very basic example, and for those who have done a lot of prototyping, you know that the start seems very kind of clumsy and stupid, but once it goes further, it's actually the same steps. You just add more and more and more complexity, and you move to the next stage. So talking about the next stage, this is actually fusing metaverse with the neurotechnologies as well. There is few companies, like maybe you have heard also that the Facebook has bought or have hired some very smart guys who previously worked on the very smart wristbands. because I believe most of you who have experienced like VR, AR, or some metaverse experience, I believe the thing what is lacking for us, why we are not buying into that this is real, because it's not so much multisensory, right? It's visual, okay. It starts get somewhere haptic, but it's still you don't believe that it's reality, right? Because of the sound is not real maybe in the room, because you hear some other sounds, right? And you don't feel anything, right? So there is a way where people are working to kind of change this, and that is on neuron level, right? So once you will be doing and experiencing some nice activities again on a consumer level in the metaverse, whether you will be buying and tasting some stuff or touching some friend, you would actually be able at some point on the neuron level to experience that, and that will give actually the shift more that this experience in the metaverse it's getting more and more closer to the, as we call it, this new hashtag ERL, like in real life experience, right? So this, maybe for somebody, this is a bit of a scary thing, but we are not talking about invasive neurotechnologies, right? We are talking more about non-invasive. So these are more like stickers, like smart glasses connected to external, whether head or wristband, right? So, but how do you think, what is the most closest reality to the real reality, where you could see yourself and maybe you at the first second you even don't know whether it's reality or not reality?
Sleep.
Yes, you are very correct. So, and this is actually next stage where some of the interesting companies, also Israeli army, is betting and investing how actually to make and kind of guide some dreams, right? And there is a good progress, yet not like fully like plug and play, but this is somewhere where the technologies are leading, that you can actually put some of the like tag words or directions and go to sleep and have good experience in the, for example, James Bond movie, right? I don't know how it will be, so it depends which role you take and how much I guess you pay. Of course, it is still a next thing. It's not today, but this is something which is kind of cooking in some interesting areas. So maybe there is also some tech investors. So this is definitely somewhere an area where to bet. So this is very shortly from my side. As I said, this deeper technology vision is available online. Maybe there is any questions, as we still have 1.5 minutes. Everybody now is scary, yeah. Okay.
Do you have any known already companies who is like actually has implemented and doing this?
About dreaming?
No, I mean the whole metaverse thing.
This mining company, yeah. Sorry?
No. The guess was as Facebook, but something more local maybe.
From local side, we are not working with the local market. So from the Nordic market, H&M have launched their fashion showrooms. So you can look into that one. I know that some of the fintech bankings are investigating this area, but again, so one area which is picking very quickly. It's actually disruption of the edtech, educational environment. So because a lot of the people in the COVID times didn't attend the high schools closely, so there was a very big disruption in general of this business area. So more and more educational programs are available now externally. And again, remembering about this visualization, so there is a very big difference whether you read article, for example, about, I don't know, like history, or you appear in the environment of the history, or you learn something about geography, and whether you are a peer in this situation, and you look around and you actually see what is the kind of difference with Everest. Yeah. So EdTech definitely, and also companies using that also, as I said, for the onboarding, getting people, let's say, in the specifically for industrial companies, or I believe it could be also applied for the Air Baltic. I know that they have this physical place where they can test this piloting, right? But I mean, it's a one place, right? At the same time, you can scale immediately, and for new recruits, give at home some VR headsets and haptics, and then they can train out and don't break anything. Yeah. Thanks.